Thursday night. Here we are. Time for GameSlean TV. GameSlean TV is a weekly news and review show. Every week we review the latest games and bring you the latest news. This week, though, we're going to change things up a little bit. Usually we review one game. This week we got three games we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about Hotline Miami. We're going to be talking about Guacamelee, exclusive for PlayStation 3 and Vita. And to round things out, we're going to be talking about Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, the expansion or standalone that they released recently. So let's get going. Here we go. First thing we got to do is get everybody introduced. To my right on the co-host sofa, we've got Steve. To his right, we've got Jeff.
Hello. Crickets.
Happening. Over on production, we've got Xander.
Yep.
It's so excited to be here.
Xander.
Star Trek shirt, right?
Show it.
You say so.
It's a Borg cube.
Resistance is futile.
I like the Borg.
Yeah.
Okay. Over on co-production,
We got Josh.
our principal consulting producer, Josh, is back. We missed you the last couple weeks.
My car broke.
The only male Barnett with all of his hair.
Most
Right.
of it. 90% of it.
And then the fourth Barnett.
Yes, helping him out.
Shadowing.
Also helping him out on co-production, we've got Nick.
Josh's shadow.
Josh's shadow.
Like how Nick looks tiny.
Right.
Hello,
Yeah,
my
what-
little guy here.
Oh, man.
I'm Josh's little minion.
That's good.
Sounds
Okay.
about right.
Very good. Okay, let's start with news of the week.
Skip me.
Good. Oh, yeah, whoops.
No one cares.
Did I say news of the week?
Don't put his name
And
up.
last but not least, all the way from
I didn't news of the week.
California,
I meant, last but not least, joining us remotely via Skype.
Skype.
We
Tomb.
got Tomb.
Doom.
Remotely via, what?
Him.
Gee,
You gotta rip your shirt off,
Things
dude.
just took a turn for the worse. Jeez. All right. Yeah. Sorry about that. So yeah, let's kick it off. News of the week. I don't know, guys. Slow news these past few weeks. It must be just because of the summer, like we said last
Stop
week.
the presses.
Yeah.
The guy at the Lego store is
Oh, yeah, you wanna
buying
talk about that?
an
All right,
Nvidia
hold the
Shield.
phone, folks.
He's the one.
Oh yeah. So we covered this a couple weeks ago. The Nvidia Shield, the Nvidia handheld that was delayed. It's an Android device. It can stream your PC games and it plays Android games. It looks pretty cool, but none of us here were really interested in it. But
I liked it a little bit, but I wasn't going to spend the money.
Yeah.
Josh met the
It
one
seems
guy
Josh
that
has
wants-
found
I met
somebody.
the guy.
That was a stupid piece of
He
crap.
was enthusiastic about it. He ordered it. It was pre-ordered. He was waiting for it to show up.
This
How
guy
did
sounds
this,
like a real This guy sounds like a loser.
He works at the Lego store.
How did this even come up, though? You just walked up to this guy and said,
He looked at my shirt
"What
that
do
I'm
you
wearing.
think about the Nvidia?"
He looked at the shirt I'm wearing. He's like, "Oh, Zelda." He's like, "Is that all the games?" And I'm like, most of them." Like, pointing out the different portions of the shirt. And then,
Right.
And then he's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Oh, my favorite is the older ones, and I play them on my PSP through emulators." And then he's like, "Oh, I'm getting the Nvidia Shield," and I'm like, "Oh, cool.
What?
Somebody's actually getting one."
Oh.
I definitely would have. I probably would have lost it. I would have had a heart attack or something if I heard somebody tell me they were actually buying this thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there are people that have pre-ordered it, but I don't know.
If you're into emulators, I think it's the way it's a way to go.
It
Yeah.
could be. There's, in terms of like what you can get now though for handheld and games that are out there, I think there's better options, and it's too expensive.
It's really expensive.
If they were to drop the price $100 or so, they'd probably have more people interested in it.
Yeah.
So
Well, anyway.
yeah, that's
So what
that's
actually
interesting.
happened in the news?
Yeah, our first news item. So I bought this game last year when they re-released, but the Zone of the Enders HD remake. They released it and it had problems. It had frame rate issues. Just weird things going on with it, and they released a patch for it this week, and now it's like 100% better. It's awesome. It's way better. Do we have we have a side by side that it might be difficult to tell from our thing here, but yeah, there you go. So the original way that the HD collection for Zone of the Enders here released is on the left, and the remake is on the right. So again, it might be difficult to tell, but it's now running at 1080p, 60 frames per second. So no more slowdowns, no more glitches, no more crappy textures. So if you were interested in this game, it's like I was just trying to find time to play this thing, and I haven't gotten around to it. But now that they've got this patch, now there shouldn't be any issues playing this thing. So it should be awesome.
Well, there it is.
It looks good.
Yeah, it looks better. I'll play it.
Did any of you guys play this back when it was on PS2?
Yeah,
I played the
Yeah.
everyone played Zone of the Enders. Everyone got it for the Metal Gear Solid 2 demo.
Oh yeah,
I got it 'cause I
that's
wanted
true.
it.
I remember hearing that.
It was
yeah.
a very solid game. I think I liked the second one a bit more, but they were both awesome. And now that that's fixed, I may actually look into picking that up.
So yeah, that's just what I mean. It's like
Does it have 1 and 2 in it with it, or is
yeah,
it
it's
just one?
it's both. Yep.
The whole collection. So
it's
yeah.
sort of like the Ico re-release, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was another good one, and this reminds me of the Silent Hill collection they released that got completely annihilated by all the people that bought it because Silent 2 is borderline unplayable in the
Yeah, Nick had
collection.
a good story about that he could probably share with us.
All right, so a friend of mine bought the HD collection, and it was so bad I watched him play it. Because usually in the first one there was tons of smoke or whatever. So in this HD, the smoke is all gone. And you can actually see the edge of the game.
That's what I heard. The number one
Completely
complaint
broken.
was that like the fog in the game. That's like kind of the
It's
Silent Hill
completely gone.
signature.
There's like barely any fog, and it's just there's like a white wall. Tommy
Yeah.
Tallarico would be furious.
Yeah, that's I guess I can understand that because something like fog, that's mainly like particle effects and stuff. So that's if your graphics hardware. So what they just did a crappy job porting it, so it ended up ruining the entire thing. So
Right.
that just goes to show, maybe they might not get it right the first time, but they did release this patch for Zone of the Enders, and it's a lot better now. So that's cool. So I'll have that to look forward to when I actually get around to playing it.
F
So-
it.
Yeah. F it. F this game.
All right, so there you go. Zone of the Enders HD has been patched. If you're interested in that, it should run fine. PlayStation 3 and 360, I believe. So let's move on. Next news item here. There is, some of you may have heard of this, but Eternal Darkness has a spiritual successor being worked on. Now, these guys started a Kickstarter last year or at some point, and this was their first one got canceled, and I don't know.
I think it was only last May
So yeah,
got canceled.
you're probably right. I think it was this year. So they started this thing, and then they were either asking for too much money or something wasn't right. They canceled it. Everybody get their money back. But now they've got a new one up. They're asking for a little bit less money, and they've got David Hayter signed on to voice the main character. So. Some of you guys played Eternal Darkness,
I'm
I think. Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I played the original and it's awesome because it's all like H.P. Lovecraft like style, like story, like Cthulhu, like mythos and stuff. So it was a unique game at the time. So if they're putting out another one, I'll definitely be interested in playing it. Especially it has that creep factor that the original
He's
had.
creeping on that girl in the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think there's actually some more screenshots if you go down a little bit more. There's some more on this, but yeah, I mean, I did play Eternal Darkness, not when it came out, but I played it later on when they fixed all their Wii backwards compatibility stuff, and I don't know. I mean, there's people that like really highly praise this game, and I thought it was good. I played it all 3 times to get the actual real ending, so you got to play it 3 times in all 3 alignments, and that was a pain in the ass,
Right.
but. I could appreciate all the weird stuff it did, like when your sanity meter drops down to the bottom and it starts like messing with the TV and like all the crazy stuff that it does. But, I think, some people just give this game a little bit too much credit. I don't know, but I mean, but this looks cool.
I'm with you. I'm with you a little bit there, Chris. The game's Eternal Darkness was cool, but yeah, I mean, I kind of did the same thing as you. I played it a few years after its release.
Sure.
And I'll give the game its due. It was good. But it wasn't amazing. It didn't like blow me away, but it is a cool game.
Yeah,
So
that's how I feel about it.
It was. I played it when it came out. I thought it was a very solid horror adventure. I wasn't, my mind wasn't blown or anything, but I think it was solid through and through. And I would play another entry. And I really like the sanity meter stuff though. Like you get things like your character you'd be low on sanity, and your character would just like head explode, and you'd die, but then you'd be alive again. And it would just like mess with you. But then they did stuff with like your TV and your save game erasing. because that's just
Right.
like that's like legit like messing with you, like kind of breaking the fourth wall, which I thought was cool.
Or like,
Fit the setting.
the screen just goes blank and it mutes the TV, or it would show like the thing that says mute on it, and you're just sitting there like, what the hell's going on? So yeah, I mean, I'll check it out. I think they're looking for about $250,000 for their Kickstarter, which it looks like the Kickstarter campaign is moving along at a pretty good clip there. So, they might get it, but we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. It does look cool.
Yeah, could be good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. Shadow
We'll
the
see.
Eternals. Check it out if you liked Eternal Darkness. So yeah, on our last news item here for this week, our friends the Game Chasers are putting out a season 1 DVD. So we thought we'd mention that. We show their Indiegogo page here. There it is. They were looking for what, $2,000 or $3,000.
They were looking for 3, and they're already up to
yep.
almost 13 with like 42 days left.
Yep, they've skyrocketed past their goal here.
Yeah, which is awesome. I mean, those guys, Billy and Jay, they put together. It's a really well put together show. I think it's got way more production value than just about every other retro game on the internet. So I mean, hard work pays off. So
I'll agree with you there. Yeah, they're it's mostly documentary style, right?
Yeah, but it's done really well. I know that Billy has a video production background, and I think he handles all of the editing work and everything. But I mean, you can kind of tell that he knows what he's doing. So the show's not put together by some guy in his bedroom using iPhone footage.
Right.
It's like he actually shoots with good equipment, and the product is something that's really good, and it's entertaining. So it's awesome. Yeah.
So there you go. Yep. If you're into retro stuff, check out our friends Game Chaser. Help them out on Indiegogo. It should be good. I think it says if they reach their $20,000 stretch goal, and I'm not sure if they call it that on Indiegogo, but if they reach $20,000, it's not going to be one DVD. It's going to be 3, packed with all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So definitely worth it. And I know that everybody who donates, I think it's like $20 or something, gets a DVD anyway for free. So I think basically the way that they're doing it is that you're basically just pre-ordering the game. So they're not really asking for, they're just saying pre-order the DVD so we can afford to put it together.
Yeah.
So, yeah, looks like a good campaign.
Yeah.
Good dudes backed hard.
Gotcha. There you go. Again, if you're into retro games, check out the Game Chasers. So that does it for the news. Let's move on. So as I said, we're doing 3 games this week. First one, let's kick things off with Hotline Miami.
Didn't play it.
Awesome. All right.
Good start.
Let's see. So I don't really play a lot of indie games, but this one in particular, this game had a lot of buzz around. Mega 64 did a video about it. I started playing it and I was like, all right, this is cool. But then, after the first couple of levels, I got pretty hooked on this game. This game was pretty good. Do we have run our footage for it here? We'll talk about it. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you guys like this game?
I love this game. Holy
would.
crap! At first, I was a little hesitant about it. I was like, "Oh, what's what about this game all about?" Okay, we get the whole retro look. That's cool. Literally 2 minutes in, I was sucked into this. The whole vibe the game feels. It's kind of it's retro style, but you feel kind of dirty playing it, and then the music and stuff just really gets you into it. And it's brutal. It's brutal. You're literally just flying through hacking guys up and blowing them away, and I don't know. It literally I don't want to say blow my mind, but it pretty much did. I was not expecting it to be this good, for a retro style indie game. But
And the music really takes the game to another level.
oh yeah, it really helped suck me in all the sound effects and the pumping 80s techno vibe.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
On the other hand,
I'm with you on that. The music was one of the strong points in this game for sure.
Jeff, have you ever played that PS1 game Loaded?
Yeah.
From the footage I'm seeing, it reminds me of that game Loaded.
It has the isometric style and it's really violent, like Loaded and Reloaded were, but I would say this is a lot harder because you don't have a health bar in this game. It's one hit and you're dead. So you gotta run in and just kill everybody. But if they get the jump on you, it's that's it. But you restart wicked quick, so you're not
it's very fast paced.
So it's you could have a playthrough that's 2 seconds. You get shot and then you die. Just hit R, restart again, and it's just over and over again until you get it right. But
you really got to plan your moves out too. especially with there's a lot of dudes. You got to say, okay, there's dude right at the door. I can get him really quick, and then you got to really try and guess what the AI is going to do to make sure you don't get hit. Because you see what this guy's doing here. He gets one guy and he immediately retreats through the doorway, right? So then he triggers the other guys to come after him, and he just kind of picks them off. That's kind of what you got to do for the whole game. Because again, if they get near you, you get hit once. That's it.
Yeah.
Also, what's cool is like the more you play, you unlock these masks, and they kind of give you power-ups or
each
special
mask,
abilities.
Each mask has its own thing.
It really adds to the game. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it gives, because you can use a different mask in different levels, go back and replay levels with the different masks, try different things.
Right.
And again, what was awesome about this game, because I was ranting about this. I was ranting about this to you, Steve. And finally, you're at my place and you were playing it, and then like next thing you know, I see like as I'm out like doing whatever, like I look at my phone and I see like a message being like, "This game is awesome!"
Yeah.
Like, and I was gone for like 10 minutes, and I was like, I knew it. Like, I'm not the only one who like thinks this game rules. Like,
but yeah, like the game, like the soundtrack really made the game for me. I thought the sound was just like a really really nice touch, and it's like it had the game just has like that classic like GTA kind of feel to it too, and it's I don't know, it's just.
Like, yeah, the original ones. I liked how it was like very arcadey, but the story was really cool too. It's bizarre. Like, it's like if you look at this footage here, it's just like you're like, what's going on? Like, it's all like trippy.
Yeah, this was
and weird.
this is one of the stranger levels game here where you're trying to escape the hospital without being noticed.
Yeah, it was like the whole game. Like my one complaint, and it's not even really a complaint, is that I wish it was longer, because I finished it and I like still want to do more, but I can't like really hate on for that, because I enjoy it the whole way through. And when the sequel comes out, which I think we're getting next year, it's like
they definitely announced it.
Yeah, Hotline Miami 2 Wrong Number or something like that. I'm all over that. Like, I can't wait for that, because it was one of the best games I played recently.
How long's the campaign, Jeff?
It's not long.
Yeah, I'd say you could get through it in about 6 hours.
Yeah, I would say it's a good
it's pretty
estimate.
short.
Like, it's well worth the playthrough, and it's quick. But I mean, I could go back and play through the whole game again and have just as much fun, because nothing drags in that game. Everything's so fast paced, where it's not like when you replay a game, you're like, this part was awesome. I can't wait to replay this game, to play whatever part again. It's like when I played. A good example is I played Twilight Princess, Legend of Zelda. I love all the Zelda games. That was a great game. I went to go replay it, and because I thought some of the boss battles were awesome, like really epic, and then replaying it again, I'm just like, man, like, I can't wait to get that boss battle that I really liked in my first playthrough, but I got to play through all this, and it's really a drag. This game is like, everything's just like, bam, 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 bam. There's, nothing's going to drag for you, so.
Yeah.
So, look at that. You get the disco lights going on, and then there's a bumping soundtrack going. It just, it's awesome. Awesome.
This guy's got I forget what the is that.
Oh yeah, the dog can attack you.
Is that Tony? I forget which name that mask has. But yeah, there's a mask where the dogs will leave you alone. It's a whole bunch of masks.
Still gonna kill the dogs though, unfortunately.
Yeah, you do. That's the only thing that kind of stinks.
What kind of controllers are you guys using to play this? Because I played
Yeah,
this.
that's a good thing to bring up.
I played this with the 360 pad on PC, and like the control. I'm watching this footage here, and like I couldn't be able to do half the stuff this guy is doing here.
I have a Logitech controller for my PC, but I opted for just like the original, because it was originally made on PC. I just went with mouse and keyboard, and it took me like a level or two to really get adjusted to it, but after that it was just like I was just running through and just like destroying everybody. So I thought about going back and trying with the controller, but I thought the mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, mouse and keyboard worked pretty well.
Yeah, I mean at the beginning there was a little bit of adjustment.
Yeah.
That I had to do to get used to everything, but even then, later on in the game, I'd be like, oh man, there were certain spots where I felt like, oh, the controls kind of sandbagged me there, but it wasn't like I was blaming the controls every single time.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, they were a little bit of a hurdle, but not too much.
I think 360 pad was probably a mistake on my part, because like the sensitivity was too high when you like look around and target guys. The sensitivity was just like all over the place. You just like
really sensitive.
Spin all over, like it couldn't even control it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to try with a gamepad to like check that out. But like I said, like mouse and keyboard, like I didn't have much of a problem. Like, and just it worked well. I thought just like everything else in the game, it just fit for me. And Loved it.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I thought it was awesome. My only kind of complaint with it was, the story. I think the story sort of takes a back seat because this game is so action packed. But what I really don't like when they do stuff like what they did with this game is that there's collectibles in each of the levels that you got to grab, and if you don't get the real ending. So it's the type of thing where you're probably going to get to the end and then realize, oh, I didn't do this, and then you have to go do essentially the entire game all over again. That I really hate when they do that. I wish there was something different they could do if they want to do a type of ending like that. But luckily, there's shortcuts and there's other things you can do.
Yeah.
But I mean, it really just changes. The dialogue changes at the end. There's a puzzle you have to solve, and it's really not that difficult once you've collected. You got to collect these letters. There's letters scattered throughout each of the stages, and they're like a little tiny pixel somewhere on the map. And if you happen to catch it, you can go up to it and get it.
Yeah,
But
with the way they get a visual style of this game, yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
And everything's moving so fast. Like I don't even stop to I didn't grab any of the letters.
I think I found one. And I picked up by accident. I was like, "What the hell was that?"
That's
Some kinda
See,
rainbow
that's what
thing.
happened to me too. I may have found one or two of them, but they were definitely by accident. So if you can figure out to pause the game and go in the puzzle menu, you'll know there's something else going on there. And luckily, once you have all the letters collected, it's just a matter of dropping them into the right place, because once you put it in the right place, it'll start glowing, so okay, that's where it goes. But all it is you're solving a password for the other character to use at the end of the game, and then there's just a little bit of dialogue that's different, and it explains the plot a little bit better. But that was my, honestly, it's kind of nitpicky, but still, I really hate when they do that. Overall, though, the game was really cool. It's just that ending thing. It's kind of a disappointment, but whatever. What do we think overall?
Definitely
Recommend to
definitely a must play.
Definitely.
Yeah.
must play.
Don't bother.
Okay.
Shut up,
Don't
Joe.
bother.
I
Don't
did
bother.
play the game, but you
Don't
guys are
bother.
all hyping it so great.
I'm not trying to hype it. I think
no,
it's,
I know.
just think
Just
it's a
you
really
thought
good
it was
game.
so great. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna just start saying it was crappy. I'm an old man, and I can't stand the fact that the playboard's wobbling around and the
I
text
know.
is flashing 15
It was cool.
different
I thought it was
colors.
kind of like
and
a
all
throwback
wavy.
to older games. I thought that
Older
was pretty
games
cool.
didn't go. Bzzz. What did I call it earlier? It's like watching Hypnotoad.
Yeah. You did.
I'm saying
It's
the
like,
controls
what the
it's really similar to GTA 2, and I thought that was kind of cool.
The game itself, the play of the game was cool. I like the idea. The controls were super sensitive, and I'm just old and farty. I can't do it, I guess.
Yeah, your reflexes aren't what they used to be.
I don't know if that's really it, or I just don't like playing with a mouse.
Yeah,
It's-
no, it is
you
kind of
know,
awkward at first.
But I got used to it. And I kept trying to play through it. I got to the metro station twice, and I was like, I don't care. It kept getting me a headache. You know what I mean? The music made it super creepy. It was like you're watching Scanner Darkly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're playing Scanner Darkly. It was weird colors and strange stuff going on. And you felt why do I want to go smash people's faces in with a chicken mask on my head? It's too
Why
weird.
not?
But I'm
Yeah,
like I said, I'm the
you're
old
just
guy.
you're just selling me on this game here.
Yeah. I don't know. It wasn't to me. I wouldn't spend a ton of money on it. What is it? What does it sell for?
Well,
It's
I think
pretty cheap.
I think it's
Retail's probably
shoot.
$10.
I'm not gonna
everywhere.
say I'm not gonna say
$50.
don't buy it because I know a lot of people.
10,
are gonna
yeah,
like the
10,
game.
10 to $15. I think on
$10. I think that's fair.
and it was just on sale for Steam for
Yeah.
Steam
I-
had their sales
really
probably
cheap.
$1.
Yeah, it
one
was,
point.
it was like $2 to $4, I think. Definitely,
yeah.
I think
Well,
the
then
sale's
that's
over,
cool.
unfortunately, but
Yeah, I'd say if you can pick it up on sale, then definitely, it's definitely
Yeah.
worth it.
And if you like that type of game, then you're probably definitely gonna enjoy it. It's an interesting take on a smash 'em up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Retro City
I
Rampage.
mean, for an indie
kinda.
game, I think it's
Yeah.
up there.
Oh, yeah.
So
And if you do like this game, you're sick. You've got problems.
I
Jeff.
think it'll make
Yeah,
you sick playing
yeah.
it.
You're
but,
you're sick, Jeff.
Good. Okay, there you go. Hotline Miami. Let's go on. Let's move over to our next review here. Now, I didn't play this particular game, but we've got Guacamelee for PlayStation 3, and also you can also get it on Vita if you're mobile inclined. So Jeff and Nick, you guys are the ones. Oh, and Steve as well, right?
yep.
So
I'll break
Guacamelee.
I'll break it down for you. Do you like Metroidvanias? Do you like Taco Bell? And do you like luchador wrestling? You will love this game. That's it.
There you have it. Next game.
From the footage,
That's
it looked cool.
Next
And
game.
I did like the music.
F
I
it.
didn't
Yeah.
see a whole lot of it, but this does look interesting.
All right,
It
So
does
wait,
play
you're talking about
a lot
music?
like if you played Metroid, Super Metroid, like you're gonna notice a lot of things. Like even right here, like the way like you go in from one place to another. There's Chozo statues in the game. There's like so many other references to other like video games. Like it's a good game. Like it's cool because it kind of like it's not just about the gameplay. It's like you kind of have to look at the the scenery and kind of
The
take it
world
in.
has a lot to look at. Like Steve said, there's those like the Chozo statues from Metroid. It's funny when you're in like the main town. Like there's like wrestling posters and like one of them's like the super like Los Super Hermanos, and it's like a luchador like buff style of Mario and Luigi. There's like a pixelated like Mega Man made out of bricks, and they're all just random. It looks awesome. It plays awesome because you like
There's so many different combos and stuff like
yeah.
that. So it doesn't get old.
Yeah, even like graphically,
Yeah.
I thought the art direction was
well, it has that Day of the Dead like Mexican like Day of the Dead style to it.
yeah,
like,
it was
yeah,
good. I
like-
really did.
like
It
that
wasn't the
candy
sound wise though. Nothing really stood out to me.
Really, I
It was
It-
fitting. I mean, it had
Yeah,
like
it was fitting, but nothing was
mariachi
like,
kind of
wow, I really like the soundtrack. So I mean, but it did fit.
not a
Yeah.
soundtrack I would listen to on my own, but I felt like everything worked for the sound. I can't really fault anything. The sound effects were really good. The whole gameplay, like I'm a big fan of this style of game though. Ever since Super Metroid,
like even right here, like the bouncing off walls, like
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
very Metroid.
well, yeah. Even with like you're saying with like Metroid having to like
Magic
backtrack
Action.
and stuff like that, it works, and I liked it. Especially, like you'd have to go from like one end to the level to the other, and like even just like you had to quickly switch from like the light and dark world.
that's the other thing. you should
that
point
was
out.
like that. That's the thing that really
you
stood
go
out to
through
me.
the world of the living to the world of the dead. You have to jump through these portals. You later in the game unlock to the potential to switch between them on your own, and certain like walls and stuff only be in one world. So a lot of times you're doing this like insane platforming and switching between them like as fast as possible, and like even like
It
That's
gets-
what
you
it's
it
say-
doing
definitely
here. He's
gets
switching
really
between the
difficult.
two, right?
yeah, and it gets
It
pretty
does
crazy.
get challenging.
You get to upgrade stuff you see here. You can pile drive somebody once you purchase the move. It's awesome. You just pick up guys and you just tombstone pile drive them. It rules. And yeah, if you like Metroidvania style games, and you just like a fun like adventure game, I clocked in about like 6 or 7 hours.
This part, I like.
Yeah, this part right here was
messing up.
yeah right there like that. You have to time your jumps and you're transitioning between like the two worlds, like making sure like you're hitting the walls and everything. Difficulty wise, it was right on par. Like I didn't find it too hard or too easy.
So yeah, I found definitely some parts really difficult, especially like you having to jump through the light and dark.
Well, it's trial and error, but
But it was difficult. I definitely died a lot.
But I clocked in like 6-7 hours. It was I think the game on the PlayStation Network was like $15. I thought it was well worth my money. Another game I could easily go back and play to like unlock more stuff. I think they just released a DLC too in the past like day or two, like what is it? Like something El Diablo, like, and it's I haven't looked into the expansion DLC yet, but I'm interested because this is another game. I finished it and I'm like, wow, I could keep playing this game because it was really fun. So I look forward to playing the expansion that
I
they
hope
released
more
and
indie games
the
are
sequel.
like this.
Have you played Badland?
No.
No. Steve might because it said iOS. It's the same sort of thing. You got to get through the horizontal scrolling with really cool art in the background. But yeah,
Kind of reminds me
it's
of
like
that
Badland and Punch Quest.
that new Gianna Sisters game that came out. Kind of looks similar.
Oh yeah. I haven't played that one yet, but I think that uses a very similar like gameplay style. So we'll see.
Overall,
Great game. Awesome.
Great.
If
Yeah,
you look
definitely must play.
again, if you like the Metroidvania style games, I'm talking about obviously all the Metroids, all the 2D Metroids, Super Metroid being my favorite, or any Castlevania, any 2D Castlevania pretty much past Symphony of the Night. Like if you like that style of game with the big open world and like exploring the big map, you'll probably enjoy this. So
Nice.
there you go. So if all that applies to you, you got a PS3 or a Vita, this game might be right up your alley.
There it is.
all right.
Okay, and we've made it to our last game this week. We're going to talk about Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Now, I don't think, is this, Tom, is this considered a an expansion, or I think this could be called a standalone game?
It's not. I mean, yeah, it's definitely not an expansion. I would look at this like, I mean, it's its own game, just using the Far Cry 3 engine.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a standalone story. I mean, it kind of just takes the framework of Far Cry and then just it creates an entirely new experience for it.
To Half-Life.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. You played it as well, right?
Yeah, I played it. So this game is crazy. There's just tons of 80s movie tropes in it.
Oh yeah.
It's, I was feeling a lot of Terminator, Aliens. They got Michael Biehn. He voices the lead character Rex, and it's just crazy, over the top 80s movie style everything in this game.
The game's crazy.
But it plays a lot. I mean, at its core, it definitely is Far Cry, though. I mean, you use your vehicles to get from place to place. It's standard Far Cry FPS gameplay. Let's see. Oh yeah, the visuals. They've put neon on everything, so the colors are just completely changed to be this like 80s techno style art that they've got on there.
Did you like that? I found it to be like, it was a little distracting to me. Like while I was playing it, it was cool at first, but then everything is so dark in the game. I found myself like missing enemies, or kind of like the environments were a little bland in that they were so dark all the time.
Yeah.
So like I was kind of it was a little it looked cool, but it was a little distracting too.
Godzilla.
It was a bit dark, and yeah, it's kind of weird because everything's glowing and stuff, and there's just a lot of weird stuff going on. But I didn't think that detracted too much.
No, I mean that was really my only, in terms of like gripes with the game. I wish that they did have a little bit more variety in terms of like the color palette for the game. I mean everything was really meant to be this like weird like kind of like Blade Runner, Tron, like strange like neon lit thing. It is cool though. Like,
see it here.
Yeah, I mean when you're facing the cyborg soldiers, it is cool to like blow their head off or whatever, and then it just like starts cascading like all this like neon blue blood like everywhere around you. Like it does look cool, but I wish that there was a little bit more variety.
Yeah. So as you can see there's the
blood dragon.
Titular blood dragons. Yep.
And it does fire laser beams out of its eyeballs, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I wasn't quite sure what to make of the game at first, but then like when that first of all, like it starts off with that whole like apocalyptic like war story, and it's playing music that sounds just like Terminator, and they're talking about a nuclear war.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then it goes into that helicopter sequence, and the helicopter sequence is like an homage to Predator. It plays that song from the beginning of the movie Predator, when they're flying in the helicopters in Predator. So it's like, I was like, all right, I'm like, this game's gonna be pretty. And then you have RoboCop's gun to start off with too, and the shotgun from Terminator 2, and you have a laser gun from like the Cobra soldiers from G.I. Joe.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then it does that.
What bothered me about that though, because they start you with all the weapons and then you lose everything, and then you get the base versions of all the guns and they just fire regular bullets. I was so pumped that the machine gun was like, it sounded like a laser gun from like Transformers. It was just like, I was like, this is awesome. But then when you get it back again and you have to like level up the weapon, it was just a machine gun, and I felt like I was firing a machine gun. I was like, I want more lasers.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess they had to figure out some way to get like a leveling up system implemented, and that was what they chose to do.
I think
I can see that there, if that is the intention. I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, that's he's using the pistol here, and that's it's possible. That's
You didn't notice that?
That's RoboCop's
It has
gun.
a 3-round burst on it. Come on.
Yeah.
It even has the sound effect. It's like the brr, brr, brr,
yeah, that's.
All right, yeah. That's obviously what it is then.
I will say about the leveling system on the game, I know Far Cry, and it worked for Far Cry 3. I wish this game, where they did it as like a standalone, I almost kind of wish they didn't bother with leveling and made it more of a straightforward like FPS instead of like just doing the open world thing again for this, because I think it would have been more fitting just to make it more linear. Because as an open world and exploring, I just want to like move forward and just like mow down guys like in an 80s action movie, because that's what they were going for. But you get the big open world and little side quests here and there, and for this game, I think they should have just given you the weapons they start you with at like the tutorial, like with like all upgraded, and just made like a straightforward like FPS for this one.
Blow everybody away.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I didn't waste any time. I mean, I may have went to the customization menu once, and I like didn't have enough credits or something, and it's like as soon like you get the Terra 4000, which is the minigun, like pretty early on in this thing, and once I got that, I didn't use anything else. I'd use that and like maybe the sniper rifle if I ran out of ammo for it, but. The Terra 4000, you just mow it, like you just blow everybody away. If they can't get close to you, like that's it.
Yeah. I mean, most of the weapons, it seemed like were just for a lot of the weapons weren't like as functional, and they were more for like an homage factor than anything else. They were like, all right, well, this is the gun from Terminator, this is the gun from RoboCop, this is a Cobra gun. Like it was just like stuff that they could throw in that'd be cool,
Did
Sure.
you guys like all that stuff though, or is it just kind of like, oh, okay?
So there it is there.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely the best gun. What'd you guys think about the soundtrack? I actually downloaded it. Power Glove did a super awesome job with it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is that Power Glove? Didn't we see them a while back? Because they're from Boston, I believe.
Yeah, wait, I didn't even know Power Glove did the soundtrack.
No, they did. I was gonna.
Yeah,
I was gonna
Power
bring
Glove
that
did
up.
the soundtrack to the game.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So the stuff there's a couple licensed tracks in there, and there's because you can see during the credits it'll tell you. But yeah, the original stuff is done by Power Glove.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I didn't
and
I mean,
Jeff-
it sounds good. Like it fits. And
Yeah, it's awesome. I actually downloaded it. Jeff, did you ever see that movie Chinese Connection?
like way back in the day.
Okay, yeah. Well, like they or no, Miami Connection, I should say, not Chinese Connection, Miami Connection. It's on Netflix now, but it's a cheesy '80s movie. But they took the main theme from that, and that's the end credits theme to this game. It's like the Friends Forever song. It's pretty funny. Like if you watch the scene, go on YouTube. Yeah. Go on YouTube and just look for Miami Connection. It's just it's like drug dealers versus ninjas.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, I'll watch that.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah, but yeah. What about the tutorial? What did you guys think about the tutorial to this game? It was I thought that was pretty hilarious.
Oh yeah, at the end he's just like, oh come on already.
Yeah, he's like, great, another
your
tutorial.
Your AI keeps interrupting and telling you a lot of useless stuff, and he's just he just gets really frustrated and he starts swearing and telling it to shut up, but the windows just keep popping up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was good.
But no real complaint. I mean, the soundtrack was awesome. I mean, I didn't really get into any of their Far Cry, so I can't really like comment on like how it plays differently than a Far Cry. I know that you're more of a Far Cry guy. Like I never really get into it, but I mean, it played like it was supposed to play. I mean, there was a heavy emphasis on stealth. But yeah, no, the game was on. My only complaint was that the visuals were a little lacking, I think, at certain points.
Yeah, well, it plays just like Far Cry 3. Far Cry 3 has a big emphasis on stealth. And again, that's one thing I wish, I wish it didn't have the emphasis on stealth on this, because I feel like if you think about like what it was going for, like 80s action movies, like none of those guys are stealthy. I mean, like Predator, Commando, Terminator, like
Time Cop.
Did you guys find that
like.
that's
The cover
the
looks
approach
like
you
I've seen
use
this movie.
to handle most situations? You just stealth everything? Because I was kind of the opposite. I mean, I would just run in there, especially when I was going through to all the garrisons and trying to take them all over and convert them all. I would just run in there and just start just lighting dudes up. I never tried to if I caught someone off guard, I'd stealth them, but
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be played either way. It seemed to me like they tried to like make it so that stealth was definitely an option for you.
Sure.
They make it. I feel like they try to make it more rewarding, and that's just something that like comes off of Far Cry 3, and I feel like it works for that game, but for Blood Dragon, not
so much. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So one final thing I wanted to point out is that, I mean, this game overall, it's crazy. Everything is just over the top. My favorite part of this game is towards the end, when there's this one part that it's a little bit scripted, but it plays Vince DiCola's War from Rocky IV, which is the final fight montage scene, and it just plays the whole thing in its entirety as you kind of go through the sequence. And to me, that's one of the craziest things I've seen in a game in a while. I mean, if you've seen Rocky IV, you're gonna play this and you're gonna understand completely like what they're doing there, and it's just insane. I was sitting there just like laughing my ass off at how ridiculous the whole thing was. So. If you haven't made it to that part yet, be on the lookout for that. It's definitely completely nuts. So yeah. All right, overall then, what we gonna recommend this one or what?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it's pretty fun.
It's definitely fun.
As a standalone DLC kind of $15 type of thing, definitely worth your money. You think?
Oh yeah, for $15 for this game, because you don't need the original Far Cry 3, which
That's true, yeah.
I think everyone should grab it if they can, anyways, because it's worth playing. But for $15 for this standalone game, what's it like six-ish hours long?
Sure, I think if you just bounce from objective to objective doing the story, you're good for 6 hours. But there's a ton of other stuff you can do. There's hunts, there's hostage rescue missions, there's other things that can maybe actually double the total time if you want to stick around and do the extra stuff.
But it's
Now,
fun.
Jeff, you played all 3, correct? Yeah.
I only played, really, the most I've played was actually the third one. I didn't have a computer that could really run the first one out. There was an Xbox port that stunk. I didn't play the second one, and the third one came out, and I played that a lot. And that one I thought was awesome. So when this came out, I was like, oh, I got to try it. And if it's
How far? Did you beat it?
for Far Cry 3,
No. Well, Blood Dragon.
yeah,
You did beat it.
yeah, I got to the.
Okay. Now, all 3 indie games, because I think you're the one that played all 3 of the indie games. Which one would you recommend?
Hotline Miami.
Really?
Easily, yeah. Guacamelee as a close second, and I'm not faulting Blood Dragon, but out of all, if you could only get one of the 3, I would rank them as Hotline Miami, Guacamelee, Blood Dragon. Just because Blood Dragon, it's definitely well worth its money, but it's it's an FPS, and there's lots of FPSs.
Hotline Miami is probably the most unique out of the group.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say
From
so,
what I've
definitely.
seen, you just don't see games like that. So I definitely need to check that out.
All right, well, there you go. That's going to wrap it up for our review. As I said, usually we only do one game a week here, but not a whole lot of big releases coming out, so we were able to get to three shorter games. These games aren't as long as your typical AAA title, but there you have it. So I think that's going to wrap it up for us here. Guys, check out our website at GameSlean.tv. Like us on Facebook. We need your likes. Please like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at GameSlean. Any other final words? Oh, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Follow the Game Chasers.
And
Check out the Game Chasers.
Leonardo DiCaprio rules. He did not. He did not.
Here we go.
Peek at
Titanic.
Titanic.
Peek at Titanic. Oh, and Guardians of the Galaxy is also rules. Yeah,
It'll be all right.
that's all I got. No, it's gonna rule.
And for those who have been watching us, we love you very much.
All right, guys.
Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us. Keep playing. We'll see you next time on
GameSlean.
GameSlean. Shadowrun.